the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sin City, home of the Strip on South Las Vegas Boulevard, the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds, and for tonight at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the SimPossible Racing League. We have the split series for you tonight, 80 laps around this 1.5 mile track. I'm Camera Rich with Carlos Costa in the booth, manning those cameras as always. It should be a pretty fun race tonight. And one interesting thing about this split series is tonight we have the debut, per se, of the trucks, because last week we ran the K&N car at Daytona where Billy Wise was able to capture the win in a pretty chaotic race. But either way, it's going to be a challenge going back and forth between the K&N car and the trucks week in and week out, and it'll definitely show kind of diversity in the field of drivers that we have in the SimPossible Racing League. Definitely going to be something to watch. But either way, this race, we did run at this track in the Truck Series proper last season, and in that race, David Wilson was able to capture the win. He, of course, not here tonight. I believe he's doing some schoolwork and has been quite busy over the last few weeks. Haven't seen him in a while, but definitely can't wait to see him back. It'll be cool to, have him back for the races. But either way, we have Kyle Zimmer at the top of the board right now with a 30.566. He was your champion in the Truck Series, so definitely probably the favorite tonight for the win. But either way, that's why we run these races, to see what happens. But about 30 seconds to go in practice. Your top 5: Kyle Zimmer, Kevin Paskowicz, AJ Digby, Nate Catilla, and Chris Roberge. Pretty widespread from Kyle Zimmer back to Kevin Paskowicz, about 0.2 of a second or so. So that's a pretty impressive lap time that Kyle Zimmer was able to put up. But either way, we'll see if he can replicate that kind of a lap time in qualifying. Here we are on board. I believe that might be, can't really see the truck. That is the 7 of Kevin Paskowicz. So seeing what kind of run he's doing here. Might be doing his last qualifying run. I don't believe he got any better lap time there. But kind of, you can see the line you run here, cut below that white line on the front stretch. That's kind of what you run in qualifying and even sometimes in the race. Kind of a really dangerous thing to do because of the way the grass is down there. You are very susceptible to hitting the grass and kind of upsetting the truck. But either way, qualifying has started. I believe we have single car qualifying, excuse me. There's Nate Catilla coming out on track for his run on the track right there. See what kind of a lap time he's able to put up. See if we can get an onboard with him and see what kind of line he's going to run here. Probably going to swing it high off the off the pits here into turn 3 and 4, try to get that truck wound up as much as he can. That's usually what you want to do, and really, he's running, about a lane higher than normal, so just trying to get some speed through that corner. And he's going to want to cut it down low here on the apron and cut that track as much as he can. You see the truck kind of just wobble right there when he hits the apron, then it wobbles back up on the track. So really, you do feel that as a driver. It's a very, very harsh feeling. But see kind of the line there, he's running right next to that white line on the bottom of the track, swing it up right next to the wall on the Nellis straightaway. Of course, Nellis, the Air Force Base, right behind the backstretch. Literally, it's about a mile away, and of course, that's where the Thunderbirds that I referenced in the pre-race are stationed at, so really cool to see that. But kind of see kind of a lap time here that Nate Cotillo is able to run, cut the track as much as possible. Make sure to not hit that grass because that will disqualify your lap. And he runs a 30.683, so, or excuse me, a 7.73. Kevin Paskovich goes about a tenth quicker with a 6.83. So both drivers able to improve on their practice lap times by about a tenth of a second. So definitely good to see that. AJ Digby goes to second with a 30.713, a little bit faster than his practice lap of a 7.43. So it definitely does seem like the track has gained speed in qualifying, and it does make sense because the track does get a little bit cooler as there are less trucks on it. And of course, when these trucks are out doing single car runs, it definitely does make a difference on that surface. But Kyle Zimmer, your fastest car in practice, goes second right now with a 30.643. Digby goes to the top of the board with a 30.520. Kevin Paskovich improves to a 5.66. So very impressive lap time by Digby there. He eclipses the previous best lap of the session from Kyle Zimmer, which was a 30.566 by a few 100ths, and that actually was matched by Kevin Paskovich. But Kyle Zimmer says he's going to one-up himself even and goes to the top of the board with 30.504. So definitely these are very fast laps. The track has cooled off a little bit from practice, so it's really good to see that. And I do think that we only have about 2 minutes left in qualifying. We'll see if anyone goes out on track. I do believe that most of the drivers that have, there's Fernando Matos on track right now, goes to 4th quickest. So 3 drivers at the front in the 5s, and then we have 4 drivers in the 7s. So pretty close field here at the front of the field with the lap times. There's Alan Capers in that number 13 machine finishing up his run. He's 5th quickest with a 30.752. And we know that he will probably kill some cones tonight. He's well known for hitting that blue cone on the exit of turn 2, that pit exit cone. So definitely going to see if we can watch out for that, especially if we, definitely if we do have cautions. He does tend to hit that, but I don't believe anyone is on track right now, so I might just have to run out the remainder of qualifying, about a minute and a half to go. But either way, take a moment to talk about this track, this Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This track was opened, and I believe about 1990, I want to say it was about 1997 it was opened. And it hosted IndyCar before it hosted NASCAR. I believe the first NASCAR race was 1998, I believe. So been around for a little while, but it was reconfigured back in 2007. It used to be very flat, about 10 degrees of banking or so, and they reconfigured it to have 24 like the other SMI quad oval speedways. So that's what we have here on the iRacing service. And, you know, it was kind of criticized back in the day for being a little bit, you know, stale type racing just because of the flat nature of the track. I was a fan of it personally, but either way, this is what we have now. And it's not a bad track by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's one of the better intermediate type tracks that we do go to, because even being repaved and reconfigured in 2007, it has aged quite well, so we do see a lot of good racing here, and I do think that the SimPossible League will put on a good show tonight, as they always do. You know, if you are new to the SimPossible Racing League, these guys always put on one hell of a show, and it's always great to watch. But here we are on the grid, ready to go racing for 80 laps around this track. We'll get to the starting grid here for you in just a moment and take you through the field. On the pole with a 30.504, your champion of the Truck Series from last season, Kyle Zimmer, and to his outside, AJ Digby in the number 14. Starting in third, you have Kevin Paskowicz in the number 7, and in another car ending in the number 7, Fernando Matos with a good qualifying run. He starts in 4th. Alan Capers, the cone killer himself, starts in 5th in that number 13 purple and green machine, and Nate Catilla rounds out he starts next. That's Billy Wise, so I just messed that completely up. That's Billy Wise in number 32, last week's winner from the K&N car. Nate Catilla, who I was talking about, he starts in 7th, and to his outside, Christopher Burge in the number 98. Johnny Berardi starts in 9th, and Doug McCollum with a 2-minute 39 lap, I think he just kind of ran out there and didn't really post one, is going to round out the top 10. Your last 3 starters of the night, Travis Zudema, Matthew Lesniewski, and Brian Lohead, the perennial non-qualifier. Last but not least, definitely will not stay there. So that is your 13 truck field for tonight's event at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So we'll get going here pretty shortly when that Porsche / rough pace car, whatever you want to call it, gets going and gets our 1 pace lap underway. Waiting for somebody to grid up on the track. I believe the number 24 of Matthew Lesniewski is the one driver who has not gridded up yet. We'll have to wait and see if he does, but either way, that's what we are looking for. And no, he does not grid up. So that's not sure if he's having some connection issues or what, but he has not taken the start. So if he does, he will have to start in the pit lane. So definitely not the way he wants to get his night off. We'll have to wait, or we'll have to check up on that and see what happened to him. But either way, here at the front, all these drivers ready to get going at Las Vegas. It's a very popular racetrack for drivers, and it put on a very good show in the previous truck series, as well as the B-car event. We didn't talk about that, but Nate Catilla won that race, and that was a very, very interesting event to watch. We saw him kind of running that extreme high line around the track, really making good use of that, what I would call Kyle Larson line, and we'll have to see if that line comes into play tonight. The track temperature is not super hot, it's 89 degrees, so we'll have to see if that does get a change a little bit during the race. It most certainly will, at least a little bit, but really the high line really comes into play more so when that track temperature is in the hundreds. So, right now I don't believe it will be the dominant line, but we'll definitely wait and see if that is going to be the case here. But this pace car is about to pull off. These drivers know they have 80 laps in front of them, and they know it is definitely go time. So the pace car is off. Flagman has that green flag in his hands, field in the hands of Kyle Zimmer with AJ Digby on his outside, and green flag. Here we are racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Kyle Zimmer gets a good restart. AJ Digby gets a good start. He's able to hold with Zimmer a little bit, but Zimmer has that preferred groove on the bottom, so he should get the run through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Kevin Paskowicz under AJ Digby, fighting for that second spot. Kevin Paskowicz actually has a pretty good run. Was looking there on Zimmer for a little bit, but I don't think he's going to have the momentum in 3. No, he does not. Zimmer takes his line away. Digby running that outside line around Paskowicz. We'll see if he can get the run. He does, so he's going to try to make a move on Kevin Paskowicz to take the second spot back. We almost saw 3 wide back behind these guys, but Nate Catilla and trying to go 3 wide on Alan Capers and Fernando Matos, but thought better of that on lap 1 of the event. There's Matthew Lesniewski on the apron, so he is 1 lap down already. He's going to need a caution probably to get his lap back, but as we said, he did not take the start, had to start in the pits. But AJ Digby is still looking on Kevin Paskowicz for that second spot. Paskowicz running that outside line. There's Digby going way down to the grass. See if he can cut that track as close to the inside as possible, and it's going to work for him. Look, he's going to take the inside line through 1 and 2, and I believe he's got the position. Yes, he does, so move Digby back to second. He can now focus on going back to get that number 25 in front of him. There's Alan Capers. Talked about him being the perennial cone killer of the league, but having a good showing right now. He's right behind Kevin Paskowicz, looking pretty racy himself in that purple machine. There's actually 2 purple machines there. Kevin Paskowicz's car is mostly purple and white and black, and Alan Capers is very purple and green, so you cannot miss either of those cars. A little bit behind them, we have Nate Capilla and Billy Wise going at it. That is for the 5th spot. So kind of strung out here at the front a little bit. These guys know they have quite a few laps and definitely one pit stop. 60% fuel being run in this league. So definitely one pit stop for fuel and probably tires at least. So, well, definitely tires because we're going to take fuel. Why would you not take tires really? But you know, not much to say on that front. But definitely just kind of going to start clicking laps off here as we go through the race. Lap 5 of the CD right now. Looks like Digby has actually been able to catch the 25 of Zimmer, but we don't know if Digby is pushing and Zimmer is probably saving, because we have seen a few times that Digby has been extremely quick from the get-go of a race, but just has not been able to hold that pace throughout the race, maybe burning off his tires or just something like that. But definitely looking racy right now. He is quicker than the 25 in front of him for certain. About a tenth quicker the last time by. Well, actually, last time by it was just a few 100ths, but definitely is quicker. But as we say in racing, catching is one thing and passing is a totally different. So if he wants to get around that 25, he's going to have to find a way around the outside probably, because you can't think that Zimmer is going to let up on that line for anything. It looks like there's a battle for the 6th spot a little bit behind. Chris Roberge takes it around the outside of Billy Wise. So he started in the 8th spot, up 2 spots already. So moving forward, Chris Roberge usually does that. Usually we'll see him move forward throughout the race, but here comes Billy Wise again. Looking back on it, but here at the front, we do have a battle for the lead. I think is about to heat up a little bit more, because Kyle Zimmer is definitely under threat from that 14 behind him. And Digby is certainly quicker at this stage in the race. Here's from the back of Zimmer's car. You see Digby is absolutely right there, tucked up under his spoiler. So we'll have to see if he can do something, maybe make that truck a little bit loose, very close through 3 and 4. That is the slicker end of the speedway, so a little bit harder to race close on that end. But either way, Digby is going to need to probably look around the outside through 1 and 2. He did for a minute, but ducked back in line right behind Zimmer. And we'll see if he can make the run off turn 2. I don't believe he will. He's going to have to pull back in line and try to do something in 3 and 4. But I think I see that 14 making it. He's letting off of the gas a little bit early, trying to kind of back up his corner, as we say. And that has the effect of giving you a better exit off. But it's really hard to do when you're tucked up behind a truck like that. You get all that dirty air and that bad aero push behind them, and you just kind of have to really find another line around them, or just hope that you can kind of power through it. And that's really not the easiest thing to do with these trucks. It's because they don't have much horsepower compared to, say, the Cup cars did before this year. But either way, looks like Kyle Zimmer has kind of gapped AJ Digby up back a little bit, so probably might have been just kind of hanging back a little bit. Definitely pretty good racing here at the front so far. 11 laps down, so 70 laps to go. We are 1/8 of the way through this race. Not much racing back through the field to speak of. Looks like everybody's kind of settled into a bit of a rhythm right now. Very green looking race. We might actually go green all the way here. That's kind of what the consensus was in practice. There's Doug McCollum and the 17 of Fernando Matos. Those two drivers are 8th and 9th respectively. Right behind them, Travis Zudema in 10th. So a little 3-car battle there for the last 3 spots in the top 10. Back here at the front, these two drivers, Zimmer and Digby, still going at it. Digby not able to do anything with that 25 just yet, but Zimmer is doing everything he needs to do to keep that 14 behind him. And that just means hitting his marks and taking that line away, really. He just needs to run where Digby is, and he probably will make Digby's life a little hard. But Digby got a great run off 4. Look at that closing rate. So very impressive run. See if he can do anything in turns 1 and 2 here. I think he has a good run through 2. See here on the onboard what kind of a closing rate he has. Not enough to make a move. Just that's so frustrating as a driver when you get that run through 4, but you can't do anything when you get to the next end of the speedway. But here we go. Looks like Digby has another good run. He's able to hook that bottom in 3 and 4 a little bit better than Zimmer is, I'm seeing. So he's able to get that really good run off of 4, but on the turns 1 and 2 end of the speedway, it looks like Zimmer is either a little bit better or just as good as Digby. So that really makes it hard to do something with him. But definitely Digby is better on this end of the speedway. See if he can do something with it. He's running a little bit higher on the entry of the corner. You see right there, just kind of trying to kind of swing his exit a little bit, and it kind of hurt him there because he didn't see him get the good run off that he usually has been able to get. Wasn't able to make the bottom of the track like he was, but they still are racing here very hard at the front. See if he can kind of find what that speed he had in the first few laps on this end of the speedway in turns 3 and 4. I think he definitely is running a little bit higher than he was now. So maybe maybe he might have been moving his lineup intentionally to try to get that better run off. But I think that Zimmer has kind of found what Digby is doing, and he's either replicating it or stalling that 14 out with his truck. But really the best battle on the track is between these two at the front. I don't see much else going on right now. So really looking at lap times, these two at the front are trading fast laps back and forth. You see one lap, Zimmer will get the better lap time. Last time he ran a 31.724, so they were about a second and change slower than they were in qualifying. 17 laps on the tire. Ooh, really close there off turn 2 for Zimmer. He almost got the wall, and that would have pretty much ended that battle right there, as Digby would have been able to get around him. But Digby was a little bit slower with a 31.759, so a couple 100 slower than Kyle Zimmer. We'll see what that is this time. A 7.80 for Zimmer and an 8.34 for Digby. So right now Kyle Zimmer is extending his lead a little bit. So really this is the furthest we've seen Zimmer able to get out from Digby in a little bit. About 0.3 of a second right there, that gap. Just about 3 car lengths or so. And you know, that's the level of competition in the league that we can say that 0.3 is the biggest gap that we've seen. A little bit of a hornet's nest here. That's the battle for the 7th spot, I believe. That's Doug McCollum, Billy Wise, and Travis Zudema going at it. I believe Doug McCollum has position. Yes, he does. He started in 10th, so he's starting to make his way forward a little bit. Billy Wise started in 6th. He's back to 8th, so lost a couple spots. And Zudema also up 2 spots from his 11th place starting position. So really these drivers probably not too worried about doing something just yet. There's Nate Catilla in the number 4 machine, that really nice looking Monster Energy car. I'm a big fan of that. He's running like we said in the pre-race, he was able to capture the win in the B car series by running that line. He just ran through 3 and 4, that extremely high line. We'll see what he does in 1 and 2. He's definitely running higher than a lot of people are on the racetrack. Right here he runs the bottom in 1 and 2, but I think he has found some comfort. He's found some comfort on the turns 3 and 4 end of the speedway on that high side, I believe, and indeed he does. Yeah, he's running right there at the top of that groove. Here's that battle for the 8th spot again. Billy Wise and Travis Zudema going at it. Zudema has a good run. See from the back of Billy Wise's truck, that nice little psychedelic looking design. Ooh, he got a little bit loose on that apron. That's kind of what we were talking about in pre-race. If you get down on the apron, it is a harsh transition, so you run the risk of doing that, and it might sound silly, but it really is easy to do that as a driver just because of how the transition is. It's not something that really the truck wants to do. You kind of have to force it, and you saw the consequences there for Billy Wise. He lost 8th spot to Travis Zudema, and is definitely going to have to try to get it back. There's Alan Capers. He's having a solid race in the 4th spot right now. A little bit under fire from Nate Tilla, but a couple of car lengths back. This battle right here is about 3 seconds back from the battle for the lead, which is still going on between Kyle Zimmer and AJ Digby. Actually, it's not really a battle anymore. Kyle Zimmer's been able to extend his lead about to 0.7 of a second. So really that battle has gone away a little bit. Doug McCollum looking on the inside of Chris Roberge through 3 and 4. I think he might have the good run. Yes, he does at the line. It was Roberge by just a little bit, but Doug McCollum is going to have that good, that preferred groove into turn 1 on that bottom side. See if he can do something with it. But no, Chris Roberge is going to say, I'm going to fight back on the outside, and might have been some, it's like the 33 got a little bit loose there or something. Or definitely had an issue. There's definitely an issue with that 33 because he lost a couple spots off turn 2, so it might have gotten loose or tight or something. I couldn't exactly see, but he did definitely lose 2 spots on that encounter. Battle between Alan Capers and Nate Catilla still going on. Nate Catilla got a pretty good run through turns 1 and 2, but not close enough to Capers to do anything with it yet. So field pretty spread out right now. The lead is about up to 0.8 of a second, then about 2.3, 2.4 back to Kevin Paskowicz, and then a further 3.5 back to this battle between Capers and Catilla. So very spread out right now. Working lap 25 of tonight, and when we get closer to that lap 40 mark of the race, you're probably going to see these drivers start thinking about pitting. And definitely if you're AJ Digby or even anyone further back than him, you're probably going to want to start thinking about pitting here in just to actually, right as I say it right now, AJ Digby pulls onto pit road. So very early pit stop. He says he's had enough of those tires, and he's going to pull on to the pit road and see what he can do. But very interesting strategy. I'm not sure what this is going to play, but he definitely knows he can make it to the end of the race from here, the next 60 laps or so. So that is probably the fuel window for these trucks at 60% fuel, about 60 laps. So Kevin Paskowicz coming onto the pits and onto the pit road as well. So definitely interesting to see how short Kevin Paskowicz sideways on the entry of pit road. We'll have to see if he was able to get down to pit road speed. I think he might have, but he was very sideways. Either way, if he was able to avoid a speeding penalty, that will be marvelous to see. But that does move Capers and Catilla, who are on your screen right now. They are up to second and third position right now. Kyle Zimmer electing to stay on the racetrack. Look at this run that Nate Catilla was able to get through turn 3 and 4. Actually, really not as much of a run at all, but he did run that extremely high line and had a pretty good run through there. But I wasn't able to do anything on the exit of the turn 4, excuse me. But we'll have to keep up with 2 cars that have pitted so far, Kevin Paskowicz and AJ Digby. I believe AJ Digby, I believe that AJ Digby was able to see. All right, Kyle Zimmer to pit road. So there's our question. There is our answer to the question. And I was looking at timing and scoring. AJ Digby was behind Kevin Paskowicz, which didn't make sense for a minute, but it has cycled through. But your leader of the race, Kyle Zimmer, on pit road right now. So he noticed that the short pitting from Digby and Zimmer, or excuse me, he is Zimmer. Noticed the short pitting from Kevin Paskowicz and Digby. And there's Brian Lowhead on pit road right now saying he's going to come down and try to do something. So it's going to be interesting to see what these other drivers do. There's Fernando Matos coming on pit road. So interesting to see what these other drivers do. And if they kind of elect to stay out on the track or whatever. But I'm looking at AJ Digby. He is running extremely quick lap times right now. So much quicker than anyone around him because of those fresher tires. And you got to think that those drivers like Chris Roberge, Nate Catilla, Alan Capers, they're definitely going to have to come to pit road pretty soon because they're going to be losing a lot of time. There's Billy Wise coming to pit road. Nate Catilla on pit road as well, right in front of him. So yeah, definitely they see what kind of speed that these drivers that pitted are able to have on the racetrack, and really have to kind of just you're just losing time out there if you're staying out. But Alan Capers, he is the leader right now, able to get some bonus points, and probably all right with that. Probably not too worried about it right now. I think he is staying on the racetrack. Yes, he is. Just going to come and lead some laps and whatnot. He does have a lap. He does have a lap on the first car that pitted, which would be AJ Digby. There's Doug McCollum on the pit road as well. So we are cycling through he stops pretty rapidly here, only about 5 or so trucks not to have pitted at this stage in the race. Nick Catilla, Christopher Burge, Alan Capers not having pitted yet. There's Roberge on the apron through 1 and 2, and he's still on the apron, so he definitely has a problem. I'm not sure what happened to him. He was your second place car, but he has fuel pressure, and not sure what is going on with him, but that definitely is a worrying sight to see. But definitely, yeah, he is coming to pit road, and at a very... Alan Capers on pit road right in front of Christopher Burge, so I have to think that... really, I was thinking that Christopher Burge might have been out of gas or something, but Alan Capers was able to come to pit road under power, so I'm not sure what happened to Christopher Burge. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it to his pit stall. No, he's not, so he's in the first pit stall on pit road, and he's going to have to take a tow, so that's effectively ending his race. There's Alan Capers away. I believe that will cycle the lead through to AJ Digby, who has about a 2-second lead on Kevin Paskowicz. So we have a note from chat, Johnny Berardi, saying that he blew his motor and was not able to take the fast repair, so not good to see that. And he also said that Christopher Burge did run out of gas, so that's very interesting to note that we can only go, 35, 34 laps on fuel, or 33 maybe. So that puts us in the realm of having a 2-stop race, so definitely we will see another pit stop if that is our fuel number for tonight. But either way, AJ Digby did win big on that pit cycle. He pitted the first of anyone on the racetrack and was able to gap Kyle Zimmer, who was the leader in front of Digby by about 2.3 seconds right now. So that just shows you what having new tires does, that delta between new tires and old tires. This track, as we said, is about 12 years old of the surface, but it is baked by, desert sun. There's a battle between Nick Catilla and Doug McCollum for the 5th spot. They also have Billy Wise right behind them. Doug McCollum on that inside line, Nick Catilla on the outside line. See what line wins through turns 1 and 2. Doug McCollum has the advantage right now on Catilla, and he's going to pull up in front of him, and Nick Catilla going to come back through turns 3 and 4 on that bottom side and say, no, thank you, I'm going to try to take it back for myself. Ooh, he slides up in front of McCollum. What a slide job move there. Very impressive move on both their parts to not have contact, but that did give Doug McCollum a good run through turn 4 to be able to take that spot back. And now Nick Catilla is going to be under fire from Billy Wise here. And don't look behind them too far because Fernando Matos is seeing this in front of his windshield, and he's going to be in this battle pretty soon if they don't sort it out. But Billy Wise takes the spot from Nick Catilla, so move him up to the 6th spot. Nick Catilla running that outside line. So he can do anything with it. No, he can't. He has to roll down in front of, behind Billy Wise. So Nick Catilla probably not going in the direction he wants to be going at the moment, but Billy Wise, a very good move on Catilla to take that 6th spot. And here we have a battle for 2nd brewing up. That's Kevin Paskowicz on the outside. Kyle Zimmer, leader before pit stops on the inside. See if you have some lap trucks up here. That lead that AJ Digby has, had, that 2.3 second lead, is now all but gone. Ooh, very close there between Zimmer and Paskowicz. Zimmer had to get out of the gas, and that gave Paskowicz a little bit of an advantage off turn 2. We have some lap trucks up here. Christopher Burge, who we said ran out of gas, and Brian Lowhead, who has lost a lap as well. But really, there is damage on the 14 machine. I see it on the right side of his truck. He's going to be under fire from Kevin Paskowicz. You see here from the back of Christopher Burge's truck, Kevin Pascowicz was able to get to the outside of Digby, but he's going to get the run through turns too. Digby has damage on that truck, definitely, so he is running a little bit wounded right now. And don't look now, there's Kyle Zimmer. He has inserted himself right back into the battle. You got to think that he's going to be the fastest truck at this stage of the race. He does have the freshest tires out of these three that you see on your screen right now, between Digby, Pascowicz, and himself. And indeed, that Kyle Zimmer is going to take the spot through 1 and 2 on Digby pretty easily. He's going to slide himself into that second spot, see if he can make a run back to the lead. But definitely interesting to see how this strategy is playing out for all of these drivers. And we are just past halfway in the night, working lap 41, I believe. So interesting to see how this is laid out. But there's a battle for the lead. We were talking about it. Kyle Zimmer has the freshest tires, and it's probably going to be a little bit of an easy, not so much of a challenge. He has that inside line through 1 and 2, but Kevin Pascowicz definitely not going to let it go easily. He knows that once Zimmer has it, he's probably not going to be able to get it back very easily. So he's going to fight tooth and nail for that lead. But he's running that outside line through 3 and 4. Interesting choice. See if he can hold it through the corner. I don't believe he will. Kyle Zimmer has the advantage through that corner, I believe, and indeed, yes, he does take that lead. So move Kyle Zimmer back to the point. He was the leader before pit stops, and it took him a few laps to get up there, but he definitely was able to get his spot back. So really, you got to think the big winner through that was Kevin Pascowicz. He was either 3rd or 4th before the pit stops and has moved himself up to solidly the 2nd spot, battling for the lead. So Digby is probably going to want to think about short pitting once again, since we've established that the fuel run is only about 30 or so laps with the 60% fuel. Kyle Zimmer able to gap that number 7 by just a little bit. He's got about a 0.3 of a second lead right now, and it's probably going to extend but little by little each lap, because those tires on that 25 are slightly newer than that number 7 behind him, and even more newer than that number 14 behind both of them. And definitely that 14 having damage on his truck is not going to help his matters anytime soon. But big mover of the night so far. If you look behind these 3 trucks a little bit, that number 90 of Travis Zudema been able to move himself up to the 4th position from 11th. So he's having a very good run. Doug McCollum behind him as well, looking to take that from him. But both of these trucks very fast on the night right now. They're about 14 seconds behind those 3 cars at the front, so they're going to need a caution to get back up in the battle, but definitely showing they have the speed and able to get themselves through the field from their lowly starting positions. Right there behind them is Nate Catilla, who we saw in a battle with Billy Wise. Travis Zudema had to get out of the gas through turns 3 and 4 a little bit, and that gave the opportunity for Doug McCollum actually hit the grass a little bit. Also that car hop up in the air, and Doug McCollum move him up to 5th. He has that position right now, was able to get around Zudema. So Doug McCollum having a very good run right now. We've seen him be fast on these 1.5 mile type tracks quite a bit, and you got to think if he's able to get that caution and get race that deficit up to the front, he might be in the hunt for the win. But we're definitely going to have to wait and see if we're able to get that caution. There's Nate Catilla trying to get around Travis Zudema. Almost thought about making it 3 wide there for a moment, but I think he thought better of it. See Doug McCollum running that high line through 1 and 2, and it's going to pay off for him. He's going to get that great run down the backstretch, and Nate Catilla looking on the bottom of Travis Zudema. I don't think he has a good enough run, but he's going to peek his nose into turn 3. But Zudema running that outside line, see if he can hold Catilla tight. Yes, he does. But I think Catilla still got a pretty good run through that corner, and he's going to take I think he was able to nip Zudema at the line. Yes, he was, by just 1/1000th of a second. So pretty good racing up here between these 2 cats. And like we said, this is for the 5th spot on the track. The best battle on the racetrack right now. The lead has extended to about 1.1 seconds, and Digby back about 3 seconds from that lead, but very close here through 3 and 4 with this number 4 and the number 90 machine. Looks like that number 4 got a little bit loose on the apron. We've seen that with Billy Wise already, so very very interesting to see how that apron is really messing with these trucks. But Zudema using that outside line to his advantage. Look at that run he gets off turn number 2. Nate Catilla can do nothing about it. He just has to pull in line and try to do something again, another lap. But just look how high these two trucks are running on this racetrack. I do think that our groove has moved up a little bit. Even though the track temperature has kind of gone down just a few degrees from the start, it is now 86 degrees. We started at 89, so definitely interesting to note that the track temperature has cooled off as the race has progressed. But it is about 4:30, or just about to be 4:30 in sim time, so knowing how the desert works, that probably means it is getting colder. But what is not getting colder is this battle. These two trucks, Zudema and Catilla, still going at it pretty hard. Catilla wants to get back around Zudema because he did lose the spot, and definitely needs to get back around that and get back into the top 5. But Zudema just running for Catilla really needs him not to be, and that's on that higher line of the racetrack. He's able to use that high line very effectively. See him get the good run through turns 1 and 2 and able to kind of extend his lead down the backstretch. But that's where it's probably where Nate Catilla wants to be running. But you see him up through 3 and 4 running a little bit higher than Zudema, and it gave him the opportunity to get a run. So he's able to pull up right onto the back spoiler of that number 90, but not able to do anything with him just yet. But what this has allowed is that number 33 of Doug McCollum in front of these two trucks. You see him right at the bottom of your shot there. He has been able to extend his lead over Zudema and Catilla by about a second and a half or so because of them battling. But here comes Nate Catilla on that bottom line. He's going back down to the apron, seeing if he can do something with it. He has that lower line in turn 1, see if he can do anything with it. But Zudema comes back on the outside. He's been able to really make a lot of speed up there, but I think he got a little bit too antsy on the gas, and see Nate Catilla has the advantage now. He was able to use that line effectively, and look at right there through 3 and 4, very close on the racetrack. But Nate Catilla, almost some contact there off the corner, but very good racing between these two, and very clean. Not any contact being made just yet. We're getting very close, but very good, clean racing here for the 5th spot between Catilla and Zudema. I think Catilla might have the advantage here off 2. He does have the truck length, and yes, he does. He pulls up in front of that number 90. Throws a little bit of a block down the backstretch. Very that is allowed by kind of stock car racing etiquette. And here comes Travis Zudema. He's going to come down pit road. I think that he is our first of the second stops of the night. So we'll have to see if that does make anyone else come down on pit road. Probably, you got to think he was probably doing that because he didn't want to get held up by that number 4 of Nate Catilla. That is a good move on Zudema's part to do that. But definitely, you got to think the rest of these drivers are going to be checking that out. AJ Digby has also came down pit road, so he is now out behind that number 33 of Doug McCollum. So definitely, like we were saying, this is a 2-stop race with the 60% fuel, and you got to think that the drivers at the front, Kyle Zimmer, Doug McCollum, your new second place driver after, or excuse me, he was in second already. So Digby, Kevin Paskovich down pit road as well. So missed these stops, so apologies for that. But those 3 drivers, Paskovich, Digby, and Zudema, all electing to come down pit road and get their second stops out of the way. So gotta think that there's Kyle Zimmer electing to come down pit road. I see Chris Roberge as well. Believe Doug McCollum down pit road as well. So yeah, definitely the second wave of pit stops is well underway. There's going to be no strategies being played for this round, I believe, and it's just going to be you're going to see all these drivers come around the same time. But your leader now, Nate Catilla, there in that number 4 machine. So see what he does. He might decide to play strategy. We have seen him do that before, and that was the reason why he was able to win here at Vegas in the B car. In case there was a caution or something, he would be sitting pretty. Al Capers behind him by about 7 seconds on the racetrack right now. But I believe that those are the only drivers on the track. Catilla and Capers to not have pitted yet. Yes, because everyone else looks like they have been able to cycle through. It looks like Kyle Zimmer was a little bit slow on his pit stop for some reason because he lost some time to Kevin Paskowicz. So, that might be very interesting as we go on. I think Paskowicz did pit a lap before Zimmer, though, or maybe 2. So that might be why. But either way, Paskowicz is in front of Zimmer now. So, we saw that on the first round of pit stops. Paskowicz pitted a few laps before Kyle Zimmer did and was able to extend his lead or have a 2-second lead. And really, you see those 3 drivers, Kyle Zimmer, Digby, and Paskowicz, all right with each other on the racetrack. So this battle for the lead is going to be pretty hot once the pit cycles do cycle through. And indeed, Catilla and Capers, the only 2 drivers not to have pitted yet. Excuse me, as I say that Capers is on pit road, so make that Nate Catilla, who is running that extremely high line around the entire racetrack now. You got to think he's going to have to start thinking about pitting here pretty shortly. About 20 laps to go, and yes, he does come down pit road right now, so that will end the cycle of pit stops. Ooh, Nate Catilla in the wall. He has crashed on the entry of pit road. We'll have to see if that brings out a caution. I don't believe it will. No, it has not. So definitely not what he wanted to see. But either way, that is going to be a very big detriment to his race. We'll see what happened on the replay. He just got down on that flat and just kind of a very slow, lazy spin into the inside wall. Was not able to catch the truck, but they do have fast repairs in this league, 4 of them. So he will get that truck fixed up and ready to go, but that spin really did lose him a lot of time. But either way, that does give the lead back to Kevin Paskowicz, and he is in lap traffic. He's right behind Alan Capers now, but Capers should be able to keep in front of Paskowicz. He does have fresher tires, but that does allow Kyle Zimmer to have the run on Kevin Paskowicz. He's looking on the inside, but really it's going to depend on which line Capers wants to take, because he is probably going to block one of these lines. Look at that run that Kevin Paskowicz gets on the outside, able to keep that number 25 at bay. Under 20 laps to go here at Las Vegas, and it's definitely going to be a little sprint to the end. Still battling through 3 and 4 here with Paskowicz and Zimmer. Zimmer has the fresher tires, I believe, than Paskowicz. Paskowicz has that line that is so good at keeping that bottom side pinned down on that racetrack. We'll see it again here. You see Zimmer slide up a little bit, almost contact off turn 2, but he just can't do anything with that number 7 at the time being. He just you really have to get out of the gas if you're on that bottom side. But look there, here through 3 and 4, almost some contact. Zimmer drove right up to the back of that number 7's bumper. I thought there might have been some contact there, but either way, very close. I'm surprised that Kevin Paskowicz did not get any type of aero looseness through that corner. But good racing up here at the front. And if these 2 drivers start getting into a very hard battle, that number 14 of Digby, who you see right at the right side of your shot right now, is going to be in the best spot. Zimmer on that inside line through 3 and 4, still not able to do anything with, but he is using it effectively. He's not able to just get the run off the corner, but he is able to carry speed on that bottom side. Here we see again, he's able to drive it in there, but Kevin Paskowicz just using that outside line so well. But he's in the wall, and I think that's going to give the advantage to Zimmer. Yes, it does. Zimmer pulls right up in front of that number 7, so that battle for the lead has evaporated in this thing. So that's kind of the risk you run, running that higher line in the racetrack. If you just get up there in the gray stuff on the racetrack and lose your grip, or even lose some aerodynamic grip. But that did give the lead back to Kyle Zimmer, and here comes AJ Digby as well, looking on the 7. That's going to be a pretty short battle in itself. So move Digby back up to 2nd, and Paskowicz back to 3rd. So these 3 drivers running where they started on the night. About 18 seconds back to the 4th place driver, Travis Zudema. So a very impressive pace these 3 drivers have been able to put up tonight. We'll see if Digby can do anything with that 25. About 14 laps to go here. So we have not seen a caution yet in the race. It's gone by very quickly, which is pretty nice to see that these drivers have been able to race as hard as they have without having a caution. So that really shows you how good these drivers in the SimPossible Racing League are, and really what kind of a racing they put on each and every week. But the lead for Zimmer up to about 8/10 of a second. So really Zimmer has shown all race that he is the strongest driver here. It's really up to everyone else to try to go out there and beat him. And that's really not something that either Digby or Pascovich have been able to do for very long. They've been able to use pit strategy to their advantage and get the track position, but just not able to hold it because those new tires that Zimmer has are a little bit too strong for those two drivers to overcome. Really no good battles on the racetrack right now. Looks like everybody is quite spread out, kind of just running to the end of this race. 13 laps to go in tonight's race at Las Vegas. Kyle Zimmer running the best lap times out of the top 5, and definitely showing that he is pulling away by a few tenths a lap, it looks like. So his lead now up over 1 second, 1.1 to be exact. So definitely, if we don't have a caution, I think this will be an easy win for that number 25. But you always have to think, with the 7 in the wall pretty hard, it looks like, and he's having some issues on the backstretch. He's spun out, and that truck is looped around, but he is able to get it going. No caution out on the speedway just yet, and I don't believe we will have one. No, he is going again, but that is going to be a big hamper for his race. We'll have to wait and see what happened. I didn't exactly catch it live, but it looks like he was running 3rd behind AJ Digby. See if he ran that outside line, running about the middle line. Not really. He's running inside. But looks like he might have just got out of the groove, out of 2. Yeah, popped that safe air, and around he goes. Tried his best to save it, but he did not elect to come down pit road and fix his truck. There is quite a bit of damage on his truck, but he does have a few seconds or a few tenths right now behind him to the number 33 of Doug McCollum. That's how big their lead was over that group of trucks. But his truck is very severely damaged. I can see it just not really having any more performance in it. He's going to be under fire from Doug McCollum here pretty easily. McCollum going to be able to make that move in turn 1, and not much that Pascovich can do about it, because the right side of that truck is quite well pancake. So I believe he might be making a visit to IHOP after the race. But splitter on that thing is pretty well used up as well. So it is a little bit narrower than it used to be, but either way, not a bad decision to stay out on track and just try to keep what he has. About 8 laps to go in this race, and if he can just hang on and see what he can do, he probably will be able to eke out a top 5. But that does increase the gap from 2nd to 3rd to about 16 seconds now. That your new 3rd place driver is Travis Zudema, so he is your biggest mover of the night. Started 11th up to the 3rd spot, so a very quietly impressive night for that number 90. Able to get through pretty much the whole field and come up to the 3rd spot with a little bit of help from bad luck for the number 7. So believe the next battle on the racetrack might be between the number 32 of Wise and Alan Capers. Alan Capers has the freshest tires of anyone on this racetrack right now. He was the last to pit, so he might be able to catch that number 32. These two drivers right in front of the leader right there at the top of the picture. Kyle Zimmer continuing to extend his lead over Digby by a tenth or two every lap, just really putting on a torrid pace this entire race. Just been so quick and so consistent with his lap times, and really just impressive performance from that number 25, that Rebel Racing machine. And team owner Levi Zielinski going to be very happy about what he sees with that number 25. Of course, he is already a champion in the SimPossible Racing League, won the Truck Series champion last season, or the Truck Series Championship last season, excuse me, and definitely coming out here in the debut of the trucks in the Split Series and showing that he still knows how to get it done. 3 laps to go here at Vegas, and I don't think there's really much anyone can do about that 25. About a 3-second lead over AJ Digby now, and really no other battles on the track to speak of just yet. Well, excuse me, right there. Like I said, Billy Wise and Alan Capers look like they're about to go for it, and yes, they will be. Capers on the inside of Billy Wise. That is a battle for the 6th spot and the last spot on the lead lap. So these 2 drivers are going to be going at it, and right there in front of that, our leader, Kyle Zimmer, just a couple seconds behind. But Alan Capers able to use those fresh tires to his advantage, take the spot away from Billy Wise, so move him up to the 6th spot. 2 laps to go here on the racetrack. Excuse me, 3 to go, so it's a little bit off on my numbers here. We are well known for that up here in the 3-wide TV booth, not knowing our numbers very well. But now we're up to 2 to go for the leader, Kyle Zimmer. Really, with the lead he has right now, about 3 seconds over Digby, there's not much he needs to do. Just make 2 solidly clean laps. Don't get in that wall. Don't do something silly on the racetrack. He's probably just taking it very easy, doing what he's done all race, and just run smooth, consistent laps. Don't do anything special, and definitely he has done a very good job of doing just that. But white flag is out for him. Carlos has the kazoos ready up here in the booth for that driver right there, Kyle Zimmer. He has put on a very impressive performance all day today here at Las Vegas. You could say it was a clinic because really nobody able to put on a consistent challenge to him. Kind of just, he started on the pole, has led the most laps by far, and has been by far the most impressive driver this race. But through 3 and 4, he's going to get his first win of the Split Series. Right where he left off from the Truck Series last season, Kyle Zimmer comes home with a good performance at Las Vegas, and he's going to get his first win of the season. What a race by that young man right there. Very good performance, and definitely good to come out here and kind of leave where he left, or come where he left off in the trucks last season. So very good job by him, and that's going to, like we said, Levi Zielinski, team owner of Rebel Racing, going to be very proud to see that once again. And we'll get a quick commercial break in here real quick while Kyle Zimmer celebrates, and we get these drivers kind of get their thoughts collected and get some interviews for you guys real quick. But after we see Kyle Zimmer burning them down in the grass, so whoever the Las Vegas track owner is probably not going to be too happy if he has to go and fix that up. But either way, Kyle Zimmer doesn't care. He is your winner tonight here at Las Vegas. He's going to burn him down in front of the fans here, put on a little bit of a show for everyone here. There's Nate Catilla and Doug Collins going in as well. But like we said, we will go to a quick commercial break right after this, and kind of the drivers get their thoughts collected, get some interviews for you guys real quick.
Now, and it's not about MS anymore. It's about just working out in this community and being a part of the community. And you can go there, you come to MS Forward and everybody gets it. You can talk to everybody about it. But that's, I think, my spin, if you will, on my disease has changed to a more positive thing. just because I've been able to be a part of MS Forward Gym. And it's not just a gym, I just can't say it enough, it's a community. It's really a community.
It's murder, go crazy, berserker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Las Vegas. We have just concluded tonight's event. Kyle Zimmer coming home with the win here at the, well, we are in Las Vegas still. So Las Vegas Motor Speedway, that's the track we're at. But let these drivers get their thoughts collected and get some interviews for you real quick. We have your third place finisher, Travis Zudema. I have him right here. Travis Zudema, this is Cameron Rich up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, you started in the 11th position, and really, without the cautions able to be, well, caution-free race tonight, really not able to get up there and challenge Digby and Zimmer for the win. But either way, a very impressive performance to get through the field and finish third. Kind of just take us through your race in your own eyes.
I was just trying to take it one lap at a time and, just trying to stay out of trouble and try to work on my pitch strategy. Once I saw what the leaders were doing, I tried to get on the same page as them, but they were too far ahead. Them boys were flying tonight, man. Kyle and AJ, man, there was no catching them guys. They were in a class all their own.
Yeah, did you kind of think that, did you kind of know that we were going to have a two-stop race tonight? Because I was up here in the booth and I didn't really know. I was kind of like...
No, I had no idea. I was, at least banking on at least one caution. I'm very, very proud of everybody over here, man. First race, I believe, in the SimPossible that we went caution-free. It's a major achievement for everybody, man. It shows that everyone is learning and everyone is getting better week in and week out.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a very good performance. But, we do have the... I believe go back to the K9 car next week at the Milwaukee Mile. So that's one of my favorite combinations personally. How are you looking forward to that one?
Oh, it's a home track for me. I'm from Wisconsin, so
awesome.
that's like kind of suits my driving style. I'm more of a flat track kind of guy anyway, so I look forward to it. Should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, Travis. Well, thank you so much for talking to us, man. Before we let you go, we know you got some shout outs for us, so let's hear them.
Just shout out to everyone in the league, man, for doing a hell of a job tonight, man, and Jeff Schmidt for putting on a great place for us to come race. And I'd like to dedicate this third place to a wife who recently passed away last April, so it means a lot.
Well, that's a very fitting tribute, Travis, and both me and Carlos up here in the booth. Very sorry to hear that, but congrats on your third place finish tonight. We know that your wife will be very proud of you.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot. Y'all do a hell of a job in the cast too. I watch every week.
Great. Appreciate it, Travis. Well, thank you so much for talking to us, and we can't wait to talk to you again next week, bud.
Absolutely.
Now that was your third place finisher, Travis Zudema, with a bit of a heartwarming story there, but very cool to hear that as well. But I'm going to go ahead and catch up with your second place finisher tonight, AJ Digby. This is Cameron Rich up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, man. Well, started second, finished second. You were able to use that short pit strategy to your advantage to get in front of Kyle there for a little bit, but really not able to do too much. But take us through the race in your own eyes there. What kind of what was the difference between really Kyle and you tonight?
Yeah, I knew I had a fast truck tonight. I knew with the shorter or less fuel capacity that it would be definitely at least one green flag stop. but had no idea how the rest of the race would go. So my initial strategy was to go 25 and then pit again on 50 if needed, and thinking that there would be a pit or a caution within the last 10 laps or so, and then I would re-pit again there, so that way I'd be able to almost split it up into 3 basically, and pitted on 25 and noticed that things were just kind of going green flag laps, and so I was wanting to run a little bit longer on that second stint, and then but by undercutting I gained the lead, gained a lot of track position. I was really happy about that, and I knew even if it did stay green that I had a chance to be able to do that again and hold on in the very end. And I don't have feet, but I metaphorically shot myself in the foot as always and tapped the wall middle of the second stint there, and basically just ruined my plan because I was about 0.4 a second slower per lap, based off of the other 2 stints of data. I'm looking at it right now. So for about 10 laps, I was about 0.4 a lap, lost at least 4 seconds simply just by me hitting the wall and damaging my aero there. And so then when I came back out on that third one, I was able to be up there with them, but I had one last lap of tire than Kyle, and ultimately if I didn't hit the wall in that second stint, I should have had enough of a lead to be able to hold on there and win the thing. But again, as always, I shoot myself in the foot if I'm not wrecked by others, and lost it. But all in all, it was a great race. I mean, to go caution free with these guys, and pretty close racing there too for the majority of it. So definitely awesome to see, and I'm tired, man.
Yeah, it's it's a fun race when you get out of it, and you're saying, oh, I'm tired, because that means that it was I like those type of races. But one thing I want to ask you, I did look at the track temperature all night. I was just kind of flabbergasted that it really never increased. It actually decreased. Did you kind of feel that in the truck? Did it ever change, like the track or the way the truck drove?
Between stint 1 to 3, I could definitely feel a difference. But going from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 didn't feel like that big of a difference. You could definitely tell that it didn't get hotter, that it got a little bit cooler, a little bit more grip, which definitely helped. But yeah, it was a perfect temp in my opinion, enough to where you had the throttle, had to play with it a little bit, but also enough that you had grip that you could be able to do things. So all in all, a great race. I was very happy, and I think I had the strategy to win. I just couldn't execute.
Well, next week we do go back to the K&N car at a Milwaukee Mile, one of my favorite combinations. I think it's a really fun thing to race on that track. But how are you looking forward to that race?
Never raced Milwaukee in iRacing. I've done it a lot in other gaming things, and I've watched a lot of races there. IndyCar used to be there a lot back in the day, so I'm excited for Milwaukee, and I'm excited for the K&N car. It's a car that I really like, so I'm glad to be able to race in that series, and hopefully we can walk away with that with a good day, a little bit better than the Daytona race.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you so much as always for talking to us. Before we let you go, I'm gonna give you a chance to throw out some shout outs. We know you have a lot of people you want to thank, so let's hear them.
Yep, thanks to you guys for putting on this podcast. Gonna watch it later. Thanks to Jeff for the league. Thanks to everybody who raced today. Having a green flag run the whole time was amazing, and I know that was some really good racing. So I'm hoping that can continue into the coming races. Maybe not all green. I would have enjoyed a caution maybe late, but that's how it goes, and it was awesome racing, and can't wait to get back on the track with these guys Wednesday.
Absolutely, and definitely a very good accomplishment to have a caution-free race. But AJ, thank you so much for talking to us, bud, and congrats on finishing second. We can't wait to talk to you again next week.
Thank you.
Well, that was AJ Digby, your second place finisher of the night. I'm going to go down in here and catch up with the winner, Kyle Zimmer. All right, Kyle. Well, winner again. You are the champion of the Truck Series, and came out here tonight and just kind of showed everyone, where you left off, but just kind of take us through the race in your own eyes. It looked like you were never really challenged for that lead.
Well, it's a great race. Fast truck. From practice to qualifying and started with lap 1 all the way to the end. The truck handled great, and I knew the fuel on was gonna come to play with the handling. Definitely the caution on that, see how much changes through the race, but it wasn't too bad on my truck handling, but I just kept my lane, going the corners, correctly in and out. I knew AJ battled around me early on of the race, and I made some of the block here to there, and then when the pit stop came, I noticed he pitted earlier than I expected. So I stayed out probably 3-4 laps. Made a big difference. I think he went from like 4 seconds to lead over him, and then when 4 seconds behind him, and it got right back up there to pass him and Kevin. And I was gonna play the same role for the second pit stop, but I didn't want to wait out too long because I knew that could affect the race by then or could cost me the win, so I didn't want to stay out too long. But I knew the tire wear was definitely a factor in the long range. I believe I was a lot faster enough to turn 3 to 4 than them two guys. Once I passed Kevin, and I think it was 15 vote or so, I just sailed to win from there and just hoping for no caution. Heck of a race.
Yeah, that pit strategy that they played was a very interesting part of the race. I want to ask you, were you kind of surprised by the fact that they pitted so much earlier than you, and did you think that you were going to be able to get around them as easily as you were, or did you think you were going to be kind of worse off?
I'm not too surprised with their pit strategy. I knew AJ, after he scraped the wall early on, I knew he was going to fall back a little bit, but the truck handling, so I figured he would pin in early. But I'm not surprised that they would try to pit before I would, especially how far I was ahead of them. Yeah, I just had to be careful where how long I'm waiting or many laps stayed out. It definitely made the rate change right there, and I couldn't. I was kind of worried after the first stop. I was kind of worried that I was not going to be able to catch him because how far back I was for the minute. But after right there, I kind of figured out my next stop from there, kind of going along.
All right, Kyle. Well, that's first race of the trucks of this split series done and over with, and you were able to come home with a win. But we do have the K&N car back next week at the Milwaukee Mile. So, how are you looking forward to that race?
Yeah, Milwaukee and K&N cars definitely could be fun. I did practice some laps on it a couple days ago, and definitely could be fun track. Definitely gotta make sure you don't overdrive in the corners. Overheated the tires, because I know the braking will be a big thing at the track, especially how flat it is in the corners there. So I'm excited to go there and see if I can tackle the track for another win or so.
All right, Kyle. Well, as always, thank you so much for talking with us. But before we let you go, I'm going to give you a chance to throw out those shout-outs, all the people you want to thank that help you make this possible.
Yeah, I definitely like to shout out to you guys, 3by TV. Thank you for broadcasting again. And I want to thank Jeff for creating this name. This would happen. I want to shout out to my sponsor, BWTV Designs, for sponsoring me once again, and I want to for my first. I'm kind of team owner for this series on Monday night, so got the first win for Customer Motorsports team. So, and I'm definitely excited to see what happens for the next 10, 20 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, as are we, Kyle. Definitely going to be interesting to see how this series plays out. Definitely with the split kind of format, it's going to be, something that's always going to be different week in and week out. But, thank you so much, Kyle, for talking to us. Congrats on your win. Go celebrate, and we hope to talk to you again next week.
Thank you.
That was Kyle Zimmer, winner of the race tonight. So coming out here tonight where he left off, but I'm gonna go ahead and go down here real quick. Here's the guy with the top hat himself, Jeff Schmidt, owner and operator of SimPossible. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
All right, man. Well, caution free race tonight. That's gotta feel really awesome as a league owner. Just kind of seeing how that goes, just seeing how the quality of this racing has been, and the good racing they had tonight, and not able to have any cautions. It's got to be a really cool thing.
It's a huge milestone. It really is. To be able to go caution free, it might not be the best for the racing, for the spectator side of it, and maybe not even for some of the racers that are looking for that caution to help them get back into that pack to go racing. But it is a huge milestone, and we're extremely proud to be able to do it. Our first time ever doing that, and I don't think it's going to be our last. From our first season ever in the trucks, our short season that we did from the beginning to now, I'm sure you've seen the progression of everyone, and anytime that you can help anyone progress at anything, it's such an amazing feeling. And I sure have seen it. I mean, these guys are amazing. They've always been awesome at what they do, but they are getting better, man. They're truly awesome. Congrats to Kyle on the win. Our previous truck champion also picking up the bonus points tonight. We have two separate bonus points that we run here in both the K&N and the trucks for the Monday night split series. One being leading a lap, and the other being leading the most laps. We don't give any other bonus points but those to try to, in hopes to keep somewhat of a close field near the end of the season, because I know a lot of leagues and stuff do race winning bonus points, but if someone is dominant throughout the year, you'd hate for them to win a championship before the last race. So hopefully it stays kind of tight. We might see some dominance. I don't know yet. We never know. But yeah, as far as the points are concerned, Kyle got every point that he possibly could tonight, which would be 45 points, I believe. So that's going to be 3 more points than second place if second place led a lap, which I believe they did. So awesome start of the season for him, our previous MS Forward Truck Series champion. So very cool. Excited to see what this year is going to bring with the 60% fuel as well, and fuel strategy being more of a thing. We're going to see a lot of different things happen with that. We're going to see guys that have been dominant and leading have a mistake on pit road, possibly under green. It changes up the whole strategy of things.
Yeah, and one thing I kind of want to ask you, I'm kind of fishing through the schedule a little bit. One thing I kind of noticed is that it seems like the trucks are all on the bigger, NASCAR tracks, and the K&N car is on the smaller short tracks for the most part. So was that kind of like an intentional thing, or did it just kind of work out like that?
No, it was much intentional. Kind of keep it somewhat accurate. I mean, we're not following any typical schedule with what we're doing here for Monday nights. Our B car on Wednesday does follow the actual NASCAR schedule all the way down to the off weeks. So we have that for following NASCAR schedule, and in 2020 we're going to be doing Cup with the same thing for Wednesday. So it was our chance to kind of pick out what we wanted to do, and the trucks work well at the NASCAR tracks, obviously, and the K&N car works well at a lot of other tracks that a lot of the guys want to visit that some of the other stock cars may not either be the best at or feel the same, but the K&N car does a good job at some of them short tracks. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm a big fan of the K&N car, really, at the short tracks myself. So it's that part of the schedule, just really because we haven't seen it yet. We've seen trucks, we've seen B car, but we haven't seen K&N just because. And I love short track racing, so that's all that stuff's really going to be awesome to watch. And Milwaukee next week, that's one of my favorite tracks. So really going to look forward to that. I think that's also a home track for you, isn't it, Jeff?
It is. I'm about a little over a half hour away from Milwaukee Mile. It was sad when NASCAR stopped going there and all the problems that they have had. Definitely was a fan of going and watching races there, even when it was only the Busch Series or Xfinity, whatever you want to call it. V-car, we'll call it that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun going to that track and watching. And it's a shame that they stopped using that track for NASCAR Series, but I'm glad that they have it on iRacing and that we can experience it, because it is an awesome track. It's an awesome mile-long track.
Absolutely. But, thank you so much for talking to us, Jeff. As always, I just got a text on my phone, so I don't know what that was about. Thank you for texting me, Mr. Anonymous Person. But, before we let you go, Jeff, we know you have a lot of people you want to thank that keep this league running and keep everything going. So, let's hear that.
Absolutely. Hopefully it was a good text and not a bad one, because if it was a bad one, you got to ignore that. There's people out there that are jealous, man, and you're an awesome dude and you're an awesome commentator, so of course someone out there is going to be jealous about something. So hopefully it was a nice thing. You guys up in the booth, the 3-Wide TV, Carlos with the awesome camera angles and all the work that he does to have these things broadcast, and you for the amazing commentating, just truly top of the line broadcast all together. And if anyone's interested in broadcast or whatever, get a hold of Carlos Costa and see if they have any availabilities. It's just worth every penny, man. For anyone that would want to pay for a broadcast out there that's top of the line stuff, they do an amazing job. I couldn't think of anyone out there that does as well as you guys do, and it's highly appreciated for what you do for us. So hopefully we can work together and help you out, and you guys already help us out huge. So shout out to MS Forward, not officially a sponsor of the series, but we're in talks about it, and I know Daryl Kachera wants to help out with that, and I want to help him as well. He's got a bunch of new programs right now that he's doing that they didn't do last time that we spoke about them. A lot of new disabilities that they're trying to facilitate in their gym with MS Forward Gym, and it's very cool to see them progress throughout the years and to see. Yeah, to just see them progress. Daryl's an awesome guy. He has a disability himself. He cares about everyone so much, so big shout out to them. Hopefully Daryl will get back to me and want to be part of this thing again. He'll always be a part of it as far as I'm concerned, because he has helped us out so greatly. So, whether or not he wants to come forward and sponsor again or not, we're still going to give him a shout out. You know what? 3D Wrap sent us 3dwrap.it is the website, Italian company that makes 3D printed things, and they make a lot of cool racing peripherals. Check them out. They sent us out hand control that one of our drivers uses. They donated that to us, and it's very cool. So Beniamino with 3D Wrap, Italian company, check them out. Very cool stuff. Not so much a shout out, but today marks the year death date of Travis Zudima's wife, Tiffany, and we want to let him know that our thoughts and prayers are with him. And it's been a rough time for him lately. I'm glad that he can come out and race with us tonight and have some laughs with us, but we truly feel his pain, and we want him to know that we're here for him. So we love you, buddy. We love you, Travis. And Eric Minch as well, with everything that he's going through in his life and his wife not doing well at the moment. Wanting to let you know that you're in our thoughts and prayers, and we love you guys. And if you can't race all the time, that's fine. I know Eric's taking a break off. He's got things going on. We hope that Michelle feels better, man, feels good, and hope the best for everyone. Other than that, the fans, all of our friends, spotters, the drivers, anyone that watches the broadcast, we appreciate all of your support. It's very, very much appreciated to know that there's guys out there that watch us that have nothing to do with us, even that are fans of this and think that it's such a cool thing of what we've done. It makes everything that much more worth it to know that there's people out there like that. So thank you, everyone. We love you all.
Absolutely, Jeff. Well said. And it's always good to hear what you have to say week in and week out. And we appreciate being a part of the SimPossible family as well up here in the 3-Wide TV booth, I guess it would be. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up real quick with your results and our final thank yous to everyone. Kyle Zimmer, your winner tonight, coming home with his first win of the split season. Of course, we've only had 2 races, so that's a good way to start off the year. AJ Digby coming home in second. Travis Zudema coming home in third, and of course, that's good to hear for him. With the anniversary of his wife passing away, we hope that she's proud of him. Doug McCollum coming home in fourth, Kevin Paskowich fifth, Alan Capers sixth, Billy Wise seventh, Nate Catilla in eighth, Fernando Matos ninth, and round out the top 10, Brian Lowhead. Matthew Wisniewski coming home in 11th, Chris Roberge 12th, and Johnny Berardi had some unfortunate issues there. Blew the motor and was not able to take a fast repair, coming home in 13th tonight. But that's all we have for you tonight with the results. And a caution-free race here in the SimPossible Racing League. Really cool to see that. And, kind of a short broadcast as well because of that. But, we want to thank all the people who come out and, keep us busy in the chat. We do read all your chat messages, of course, and we want to let you know that we do. All the friends and family of the SimPossible Racing League, you heard from Jeff himself, they're very appreciated, and just everyone who comes out to watch. And even if you don't watch live, you watch the or the replays or whatever. We do appreciate that so much here at 3Y TV. But either way, that's all we got for you tonight. Here from Las Vegas, once again, I'm Cameron Rich with Carlos Acosta here at 3Y TV, and we hope you guys have a awesome night.